Players are quitting RuneScape en masse. The subreddit is on fire. What the hell is going on? Long story short, those greedy fantasy goblins, well, they're real, but they're not green, they're black and white. So artsy. What is old school RuneScape? I can't imagine that you clicked on this video without knowing, but just in case. In simple terms, old school RuneScape is a highly advanced medieval themed cookie clicker. It's technically an MMO, there are other players, but you usually don't talk to them. If you do, they're either really nice and will help you with whatever you need, or they'll try to scam you and then sling some slurs. It's kind of a coin flip. Please forgive the lighter editing on this one. You have to strike while the iron is hot. That's how you get more smithing XP. So please enjoy this B-roll of Desert Treasure 2. We'll call it gameplay. What caused the currently ongoing player exodus and general meltdown? A survey. But a really bad one. Jagex, the company that created, develops, and maintains RuneScape, recently sent out a survey to some paying members. They heard that players really love surprise mechanics, so the survey is slightly randomized for everyone who does receive it. And the survey is meant to poke and prod you about some potential upcoming changes to membership billing and benefits. Let's take a look at what Jagex has been cooking. Cooking is one of the RuneScape skills. First proposal, reduced membership cost with ads included. That's right, a paid subscription where you still have to watch ads. And as much as we meme on RuneScape for being a glorified clicker, there is gameplay that requires you to interact. Back in the day, I actually did play a web browser game with integrated ads. It's called Neopets, and it was free. Second membership proposal, lower membership fee, but you can only play on mobile, so good luck doing most of the challenging content. Third proposal, lower membership, but with a shorter AFK timer. What does that mean? RuneScape is often called a second monitor game because you play it on a second monitor while you do something else. In my case, it's usually making videos like this one. If you look at my character stats, you can see it's kinda cursed because I have 0 maxed combats, but several maxed skills and ones that players generally consider to be the worst in the game because you don't really play. You kinda just click a tree and then go do something else. In that sense, extended periods of low activity are integral to the RuneScape experience. On the vanilla client, you actually just get logged out after 5 minutes, but there is an officially sanctioned third-party client called RuneLite that has a feature that allows you to AFK for up to 25 minutes long, so that's 5 times the vanilla duration, and that means less XP loss. The fact that they are suggesting you could pay for a longer AFK timer, something we already have, implies that they intend to remove this feature and charge you for it. We know this because they literally do this with RuneScape 3, more on that later. Finally, most damning and also most expensive, a membership plan which features, among other things, improved customer support. Jagex customer support is infamously awful. It's actually worse than non-existent, because the automated systems that do exist will ban you for minor infractions or misunderstandings, and there's basically nothing you can do except at them on X, formerly Twitter, and hope that you have enough clout to actually get your issue resolved. So basically you have to be a streamer. Players have been clamoring for actual customer support for years, and the fact they have the gall to charge us for something we should already be receiving is insanity. This proposed feature implies that, yeah, they could offer better customer support, they just don't, unless you pay. But we are paying. Well, you gotta pay more. There's more than just these stills of the survey, by the way. They imprisoned a poor Jagex employee in the void here and forced him to tell you about just how great these potential features could be.
Enhanced player support. Enhanced player support would offer additional benefits beyond improvements we're making to our player support system. This could include tailored features such as expanded language and time zone availability, personalized support updates, and other elevated services to enhance your experience.
Who actually conceived and sent out this survey, and for what reason? Well, it wasn't any of the Jagex developers. It was this guy. Or one of his minions. The bad guys aren't the devs. The villains are one layer higher. It's CVC, a venture capital group that owns Jagex. What's a venture capital group? In World of Warcraft, there's a group called the Venture Co., which are basically just cartoon villain profiteers. And yeah, that's what real-life venture capital groups are as well. They don't care at all about the quality of the products they manage. All they care is that the product generates enough money to convince the next venture capital group that, hey, it's a worthwhile asset. They offload it to them, and then the cycle repeats until the product eventually dies. The only people who win in this scenario are the fat cats at the top. It's enough to make you want to grab a hammer and a blessed silver sickle, if you know what I mean. This survey is essentially them testing how much more can we wring out of these suckers playing our game? How much more can we milk out of the man-teats of this player base? Let me tell you, as someone named Imported Cheese, I know a thing or two about being milked. I might cut that. If you're not familiar with old school RuneScape, you might be thinking, quite reasonably, that players are wildly overreacting to a survey. These aren't proposals, they haven't actually done any of these things. Why are you guys up in arms? However, if you are a veteran scaper, then you know why the alarm bells are ringing. Quick question, Mr. Scaper. Would you, consensually of course, be open to a reduced membership fee if we chopped your head off, yes or no? No. And I'm a little perturbed that you even need to ask. Whoa! Calm down there, Chicken Little. Of course I'm not actually going to chop your head off. I'm just probing a bit. We hear your concerns loud and clear. There are currently no plans to implement player decapitation into the 2025 RuneScape membership model. Do you really need both your arms? Okay, so why are RuneScape players in particular so outraged about a set of proposals that, in the scheme of other heavily monetized MMOs, aren't really that out of the ordinary? Well, I believe there are 3 reasons. So, reason number 1, RuneScape is already extremely expensive. Back in 2004, I'd tug at my mom's skirt and beg for the $5 to get membership and finally open the gate to Falador. Nowadays, as an adult, I of course pay for my own membership, which runs at $15 a month. Pricing depends on your region, of course, and I actually pay considerably more than that because I live and work in Japan, and the yen is in the toilet. Please subscribe, things are dire. Jagex is actually a UK-based company, and they have 0 Asia servers, which is the only reason why I died during this Phantom Muspa fight. No, but seriously, look at this. Come on, I blocked that. Jagex Asian servers, please. You might notice that $15 a month is basically the same price as World of Warcraft and Final Fantasy XIV, the other 2 big-ticket MMOs. However, those games look like this. And RuneScape looks like this. And yet we pay the same price. Now I know that inflation is a thing, but back when RuneScape cost $5 a month, World of Warcraft was $15 a month. Nowadays, the RuneScape price has tripled, but World of Warcraft has remained the same. I cannot believe that Blizzard aren't the greedy geezers in this comparison. You should be worried. So all these games cost basically the same. What do you actually get for your money? In World of Warcraft, you actually get quite a lot. You get the modern game, often called retail. You also get classic World of Warcraft and classic hardcore. You get far more character slots than you could ever reasonably use. In World of Warcraft, each character can only be one class, and there are multiple classes, so you do need multiple characters, but you have enough character slots. In Final Fantasy XIV, one character can do all jobs, but you still get multiple character slots in case you want to play on different servers with your friends. These games both receive regular updates and content, and let me remind you, they look like this, often featuring lovingly animated cutscenes with voice acting, whether you want them or not. For $15 in RuneScape, you get one character. Now, one character in RuneScape can train all the skills, but there are multiple game modes. The two most popular are mains, this is just a simple unrestricted account, and then the Iron Man game mode. Iron Men stand alone, which means that they have to do everything for themselves, they can't trade other players, and that gives them the sense of pride and accomplishment that we know gamers crave. Want to play a main account and an Iron Man? That'll be $30 a month, please. This membership price, by the way, was recently jacked up by 30% last September. Normally, when you increase the price of a membership, as a gesture of goodwill at your longtime supporters, they actually get to continue paying the previous rate. And that is true in this case, unless you bought the year-long membership, so if you are Jagex's best customers, you get punished. Thanks for playing. While you don't actually have to pay for periodic expansion packs, like with WoW or Final Fantasy XIV, what do you actually get for your money? First question is, how much money is there? We've seen the financial reports, and it's a lot. Jagex are raking it in, they are making bank. So where is the money going? Well, it's not into the game, I can tell you that much. We actually receive fewer updates than we did back in 2004, and while some of the updates we get are very nice, a lot of them are underbaked, let's say. Last year they introduced a feature in player banks called potion storage, a convenient new way to organize your drinkable consumables. But this feature also introduced an item duplication glitch. I won't speak too much about it, but do you know how you duplicated potions with potion storage? You deposited and withdrew potions from the potion storage. If you know anything about MMOs, you know that any item duplication glitch is extremely dangerous, because with player-driven economies, item dupes could lead to the collapse of the entire economy. Unlike Amazon games, Jagex did recognize this, and they pressed the nuclear button, issuing a server rollback. A rollback essentially resets everyone's character to a previous point in time, erasing any and all progress they made during the period that was rolled back. Oh, and they banned the guy that reported the glitch. Guess he should have ponied up for improved customer support. More recently, as in literally yesterday, they added some new cosmetic rewards to this game, and there are some issues. The in-game spirit tree looks absolutely nothing like what was proposed. The cosmetic upgrade to the Venator bow, a bow whose main feature is a ricocheting shot, does not actually include the cosmetic upgrade to the ricocheting shot, the point of the weapon. There's a cosmetic upgrade for the Aram gear set, which features a hood, top, robe, and staff. They just forgot the staff. There's no cosmetic for it. And the cosmetic upgrade to the Virtus hood, an endgame piece of magic equipment, erases the stats from the hood. Did anybody test this, even once? The only reason why players aren't writing about this fiasco is because they're busy writing about this new debacle. Second reason why RuneScape players are upset. RuneScape players hate microtransactions. Most MMOs these days do feature microtransactions, at the very least for cosmetics, sometimes actual in-game power. I was there in World of Warcraft when they first added microtransactions. People said, oh, it's just cosmetic, slippery slope fallacy. Well, we slid, and look at World of Warcraft now. RuneScape players are especially justified in being paranoid because forget about hypotheticals of this happening to other games. It literally happened to this game. For RuneScape players, the slippery slope into microtransaction hell isn't a what if, it's a what is. It's right there. It's called RuneScape 3, where you can buy anything and everything to progress your character. Old school RuneScape players don't want that. That's why we play old school RuneScape. While RuneScape players do hate microtransactions, there is actually one in the game, and it's the big one. It's the ability to buy in-game gold with real-life money through the old school RuneScape bond system. If you've ever played World of Warcraft and you know the WoW token, it's that. It's literally the WoW token. You pay real money to purchase an item called a bond. You can then either consume this bond to gain membership time, or you can sell this bond to another player for in-game gold, thus allowing you to, with a tiny step in the middle, buy in-game gold with real-life money. If you call this pay-to-win on the RuneScape subreddit, for some reason you'll get downvoted into oblivion, but I don't know what else you would call this. You can literally spend $1,000 on bonds, convert that into over $1 billion in-game gold, and buy a twisted bow, best weapon in the game. Oh, it's not pay-to-win because you still have to actually shoot things with it? Okay, well, the guy with the twisted bow can literally afford to make more mistakes than the dude with the magic short bow. It's pay to win. What's the difference between buying gold officially through Jagex and the bond system, or buying gold illegally from this Venezuelan dude? Well, the Venezuelan guy is probably going to give you a much better deal, and the money's probably going to supporting his family. If you pay Jagex, you know where the money goes? This guy. I think he has enough. If players are so adamantly against microtransactions, in particular pay-to-win microtransactions, how did the bond actually make its way into old school RuneScape? Well, players themselves told Jagex that they wanted it. Asterisk. Third, and arguably most important reason why RuneScape players are mad at a survey. The importance of trust between Jagex and the players. The relationship between Blizzard, the company that makes World of Warcraft, and its players, well, I'm not going to mince words here, it's bad. Since basically the beginning, it's been defined by the developers talking down to the players, saying they know what the players want better than the players themselves, and long story short, repeatedly they've been proven that, no, they don't actually know better.
You think you do, but you don't.
The relationship between Square Enix, the company that makes Final Fantasy XIV, and its player base is very interesting. It's had its ups and downs. The original Final Fantasy XIV was so bad that the developers had to issue a public apology. They actually, in-universe, destroyed the game. Then they rebooted it with everyone's savior, Yoshi P. And now, everyone loves the devs. I haven't actually played Final Fantasy XIV in a while, and as of the most recent expansion, Dawn Trail, the players may no longer love the devs. The relationship between Jagex and its players initially had many parallels to Blizzard's. And I phrase it that way intentionally, because Jagex attempted to copy World of Warcraft with a massive update called the Evolution of Combat, often abbreviated as EOC. Jagex said, "You're gonna love it." The players said, "No, we're gonna hate it." Jagex pushed the update, players hated it, and they left. This update was so bad, it literally killed the original RuneScape. The game we play now, old school RuneScape, exists by a minor miracle, a 99 prayer, I guess. It's a 2007 backup of RuneScape, that's why it's often called 2007scape, that has since received support and update from its own team of developers. In order to make sure that there's never another EOC, old school RuneScape has a very unique feature: player polls. Before content can be added to the game, the developers poll it with the player base, and if not enough players say yes, it doesn't go in the game. Sometimes these poll questions are a little asinine. There's a monster in the game called nail beasts. You might encounter this sometimes if you're doing a certain piece of dead content, which you're not. And it was actually a poll question: should we reduce the attack sound of the nail beasts because it was kind of loud compared to the sound mixing in the rest of the game? And players voted no, okay? We pay, we say, and we say that we want our eardrums blown out. Unfortunately, the poll system is, and sort of always has been, largely symbolic. If Jagex wants to add something to the game, they just do it, and then they'll call it an integrity change. But every time they do that, it does erode a bit of the trust they've built with the player base. And remember how players voted yes to gold buying and therefore pay to win through old school RuneScape bonds? While they technically voted yes, that's because they bundled the question with another question that players actually did want, that being free-to-play worlds with reduced features. So if you wanted permanent free-to-play worlds, you also had to vote yes to pay to win, even though these questions aren't related. This is of course something that they do not just in medieval point-and-click games, they do it in real life. Would you like universal healthcare and also the execution of your firstborn? No? Looks like Americans don't want universal healthcare. RuneScape players are wary because we have been burned before, and it looks like we're about to get burned again. I want to emphasize here that there is no hate at all towards the wonderful developers who actually make this game. Despite the sometimes buggy content, the mod team themselves are incredibly passionate and incredibly brave because they themselves go out and talk to the RuneScape player base who, as you might be able to infer, are horrible. Yet these devs, true heroes, go out and willingly talk to us. They even sign their names at the bottom of all the dev posts that they use to let us, the players, know how the game is doing behind the scenes. It's not something they have to do, but it's something that they do to show that we can trust them. In the day or so since this controversy exploded, Jagex did respond. I will now read you an excerpt of their response. We want to address the recent survey and the discussion surrounding it. We've seen your feedback, concerns and criticisms, and we want to provide clarity on its purpose and some of the information contained within. We greatly value the trust and passion you place in old school RuneScape, and it's important to us to maintain transparency about what's happening. One of the reasons we include controversial or polarizing topics in surveys is because they provide valuable insights into what players truly like, dislike, and feel strongly about. Great community management isn't just about listening to what players want. It's also about being open to exploring uncomfortable topics so that we can make informed, player-driven decisions. Your feedback matters. We're already reviewing your input to ensure that unpopular ideas are ruled out. This survey is about learning, not making decisions in a vacuum. Oh boy, I can't do much more of this. I feel dirty just reading this. If this is their plan to make RuneScape players take showers, oh, it's working on me. Thank you for taking the time to share your feedback. It may not always be easy, but these conversations are invaluable in helping us make decisions that benefit the long-term health of old school RuneScape. We'll keep you updated as we move forward. Signed, not as the individual mods, but rather the old school team. From a brand new Reddit account that was made just before this was posted. I wonder who wrote this statement. So what happens now? Is RuneScape dead? Well, not yet, but for me, probably. I'd say that I overall enjoyed the time I spent with RuneScape. Even the 12 consecutive hours I spent clicking on rooftops. I managed to get some 99s, I got a quest cape, and silver lining, this controversy even allowed me to accomplish another childhood dream. I got to participate in an online riot, yeah. I brought my cannon, I turned on retribution, and then I canceled my membership. They say you never quit RuneScape, you just take long breaks, and, well, I guess this is where another break might be starting for me. I want to thank all of my viewers who put up with the RuneScape content. I know it's not exactly everyone's cup of tea. It's a British game. I'm still excited to see what RuneScape fans come up with. There's some great RuneScape video series, some great RuneScape fan games. If you've never heard of or played Pokescape, you gotta do it. It was awesome. Better than modern Pokemon for sure. Although I know that's not much of a compliment. And hey, Mersey, if you're watching this, thanks for lending me the Guardian staff to help me beat the Whisperer, and please claim it from me within the next 10 days before my membership fully runs out. It's goodbye Gielinor for now. It's probably gonna take something radical to bring me back. As much as I enjoy watching number go up, it is a bit of an addiction. And today, instead of spending all day just to get 10% of a rune crafting level, I actually did something. Hey, I made this video. I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next one, which I guess won't be about RuneScape.